Welcome back to the Community of Innovation podcast, brought to you by the Center for Aging and Brain Health Innovation, otherwise known as CABHI. I'm Allison Sekuler, President and Chief Scientist at CABHI and the Baycrest Academy for Research and Education.
And I'm Rosanne Aleong, Executive Director of Research, Innovation, and Translation at the Baycrest Academy and the Director of Research, Innovation, and Translation at CABHI.
As the summer months roll in and the weather warms up, we often notice people spending more time outside, walking, running, taking advantage of the quieter months to move their bodies in ways that they enjoy.
190%. But movement can look very different for different people because it's not always the gym. It could be yoga in the park, it could be pickleball, it could be different forms of activity and different hobbies. Often, what people most associate with movement and activity would be the physical benefits, like heart health, but the cognitive benefits can sometimes be overlooked.
That's right. Heart health is important, but brain health is critical too, and exercise benefits both. So today we're speaking with two individuals involved in a CABHI-funded dance-based exercise program that boasts proven benefits for brain health, GERAS Dance.
So, Allison, another tremendous episode with two very energetic guests.
Oh, yeah.
What stood out for you?
I think one of the things that stood out for me was how important it is that what you're doing is interesting to you when you're exercising, and that even that it can and should be culturally relevant. We'll hear a story, I won't go into all the details, but about how they changed the kind of music behind the dance, and it increased the range of people who were involved, and it really grew the numbers because it was something that people could relate to back from their own personal experiences in their childhood. So culture matters, and having joy with what you're doing matters. What stood out for you?
I will say you and I have lived experience of the GERAS Dance program, and I can
Absolutely.
say from a lived experience, you can't help but smile and you can't help but actually find joy in the movement. But what stood out for me is just the accessibility of the program. I think a lot of people, when they think about exercise, they're like, I have to be in Olympic shape in order to do this. Or I think about one of our amazing guests from Defy Dementia, Ernestine Shepard, and she's an amazing older adult bodybuilder. And that could be really intimidating for a person where, they're getting started. Maybe they haven't exercised for a really long time. But our guests convinced me that, you can start from wherever you are. You can start whatever, your mobility needs are. So they talk about people sitting down doing it.
Even in wheelchairs, yeah.
In a wheelchair. So I think it's really about making accessible both emotionally but physically to any of our listeners.
Absolutely. So let's hear from the experts themselves and let's get to the show. Our first guest is Dr. Alexandra Papaioannou, a professor of medicine in the Division of Geriatrics at McMaster University, a Geriatric Medicine Specialist at Hamilton Health Sciences, and Executive Director of the joint Geras Centre for Aging Research. She holds a Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in Geriatric Medicine and Healthy Aging, serves as the lead clinician scientist of the Canadian Geriatrics Society Frailty Working Group, and she's also a member of the Global Frailty Network. Alexandra is also the chair of the Regional Geriatric Program for Central Ontario, and her program of research is focused on bringing the best research evidence to the front lines of care for older adults to age with dignity and independence. Alexandra, welcome.
Thank you for having us here today, and really want to thank CABHI for all their support in bringing research to older adults and the community.
And our second guest is Mrs. Kiran Gupta, the founder and chairperson of the Hindu Samaj Wellness Club in Hamilton. She has held the position of president and has served numerous times as a board member for the parent organization, the Hindu Samaj of Hamilton and Region. Kiran has a master's degree in sociology, bachelor's degree in education, and business, computer, and accounting certification from Mohawk College. Kiran, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. It feels wonderful to be here on the podcast.
So Alexandra and Kiran are both involved in GERAS Dance. Alexandra is one of the program's co-creators and Kiran as a peer instructor. So Alexandra, let's start off with a bit of background about GERAS Dance. Can you talk a little bit about what this CABHI Spark funded program is and how it was created?
Thank you, Rosanne. GERAS Dance was created by experts in rehabilitation and geriatric medicine at the Geras Centre for Aging Research here at Hamilton Health Sciences and McMaster University. It was created in partnership with the YMCA of Hamilton, Burlington, Brantford. This program offers a fun way for older adults to exercise regularly using scientific principles to improve brain and body health. The exercises help build strength and mobility with a variety of dance styles and music, from rock and roll to Bollywood, all while building social connections with plenty of laughter. Geras Dance is based on proven science and can be done in person or on demand videos, and we're continuing to expand the program across Canada and the United States.
So, being a dance based program, the Geras Dance provides people with the opportunity to move their bodies, which, as we touched on earlier, has more benefits than what's usually discussed, things like weight loss and heart health. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of exercise for improving brain health and reducing dementia risk?
This is really a critical, important aspect of why we're excited about Geras Dance. Exercise is really important for the brain. It improves the blood flow and it can improve executive function, that part of the brain that sort of helps us manage our day-to-day life activities. And also, it improves the use of oxygen and glucose or blood sugar in the brain. Exercises that include our cardiovascular system can help build your brain. So it actually builds the brain just like it builds our muscles. When your heart is pumping, your muscles are moving, and your brain is thinking. Exercise has been shown to increase the hippocampus size, which is an important part of memory in the brain. This is actually one of the best medicines that you can do for your overall health. It improves brain health and your overall physical function.
And at least in some cases, the Geras program is being done in a social environment. So is there an element of that in the program as well that's helpful for brain health?
Really, that is such an important aspect. They say now that social isolation is the new smoking. It has the same risk on your overall health as smoking does. So we have found that Geras Dance brings people together, and people have formed coffee groups, tea groups after Geras Dance is finished. And some people then go on and join new programs or walking groups after. So, really, that is such an important aspect to prevent dementia.
And Kiran, as a participant and instructor, have you noticed some of those positive changes in yourself since participating in Geras Dance? Because Alexandra has mentioned quite a number of benefits in her answer.
Yes. And Alexandra, whatever she said, yes, I have noticed all those changes in myself. And I was instructor before too for my seniors group. Just I used to teach them exercise steps and cardio exercises. But then myself wasn't feeling that great or happy, and I could see, I always check my participants when I am teaching them, and they were just, oh yeah, what time it is, 5 more minutes. That used to be the mood. But since I start taking part in Geras Dance as a participant or instructor, I feel so happy, and it has good effect on my heart and brain health. And before, I wasn't practicing at home every day, but now I have to teach them. So I started doing the exercises regularly. So obviously it has positive effect on my physical health. And then I always put on music, Bollywood music, and it does not feel like I'm doing the exercise. It feels like I'm dancing. and then it would smile on my face, and I feel more calm, and it has a good effect on my physical health also. So in Assam, I'll say it has lots of positive effect on my health.
I love your answer, Kiran, because you've painted a whole picture of all the benefits. But Alexandra, I wanted to follow up on what Kiran said about in terms of her mood and her motivation. Is it this creative aspect of the dance that's bringing this benefit for her as well, do you think?
That we know that exercise has very positive effect on mood and being creative and being with your peers. Very key to brain health. Also doing something new. So that's one tip I'm going to share is do something new if you want to improve your brain health.
Yeah, and we often say do something new as long as it brings you joy. And it's clear that this is bringing Kiran and all of the others so much joy. And one of the things I really love about GERAS Dance is that it is an accessible form of movement for all ages and for all levels of physical activity, for all people of different kinds of mobility. And I think that there's a notion that exercise has to be one thing. You've got to go to the gym and you've got to lift heavy weights. And I do love doing that, but that's not necessarily the only way that you can exercise. And you don't have to have intense, rigorous exercise to have some benefit. Isn't that correct? And I wonder, Alexandra, if you can speak to how GERAS Dance takes into account all of these different capabilities that people have in the choreography and how that can stimulate brain health and mobility.
Right. So we have, Allison, all different levels. We have people who have done dance before, who've enjoyed it, to never having danced. So people can do this in their chair or they can do it standing. And what it does, the program incorporates what we call functional exercises. And this is the new buzzword. Functional exercises aims at enhancing your strength and your mobility and balance. And it incorporates the brain and in rehabilitation movements. It seems simple, but these are scientifically backed movements that enhance skills like balance and coordination. And this allows older adults to engage in daily activities like climbing stairs, walking around the block, going to the grocery store. These are the things that will let you age at home where you want to be. The exercises are tailored to providing just the right challenge and progressively increasing with difficulty each week to maximize the exercise and the goals. And that's why it's the important component of rehabilitation. It builds every week and improves our function.
And Kiran, I want to go back to you as an instructor. You're leading these dance programs. You've already said how happy it makes you, and you're actually, stimulating your brain, but the brains of your students, and you're using really creative choreography. So I guess Alexandra's explained, some of the biological benefits, but how does it feel to actually be in front of all of those students and dancing with them?
Oh, it feels fantastic, and it feels really good because as I said, I started this seniors club. So when I am teaching them dance, I see them they are more comfortable because I have hired some people to teach them, but then I have to stop it because they stopped coming. But when I teaching them, they see me, I can do it, so they can do it too. And I have some 96 years old, over 95 years old, and they are in their wheelchair, and before they just used to sit. Now they see me, they feel very comfortable. They do sitting, all the movements they do sitting. So I feel very good teaching them Geras Dance, and they feel very comfortable too. My participants, they all feel very comfortable. So, as I said, I was teaching them actually, I taught them Tai Chi too. I'm Tai Chi instructor also, but they found it very hard because it's 108 moves. I can do it in one shot. It takes 15 minutes, and I was just showing them only 5 moves. but still they weren't getting it. And always, oh, we forgot, can you teach us privately? I did that too, but no, they didn't get it. But GERAS Dance, and I just thank the GERAS team. I don't know how they came up with all those steps. Like, I gave them the first lesson, like you saw the demo too. That's our first lesson. I said mine is there, so it became mine too. So that first lesson I gave them with that song. That song is like when I was in university in India. So I picked that song. Everybody was so happy. They gave me hugs after the lesson. So I feel very good teaching them as a peer. I think it was a good idea. Instead of hiring a young person coming from outside and teaching them, they wouldn't have felt that comfortable. But when I am one of them, I am on the stage teaching them and dancing, they feel like we just enjoy it. We just enjoy it.
Well, Rosanne and I, as you mentioned, have also enjoyed having you as our instructor. We had the pleasure of seeing you lead not just us, but whole audiences of hundreds of people at some of our Defy Dementia initiatives. You've been very gracious in leading some GERAS Dance sessions for us. And one of the things that's been really interesting for me, as you said, was watching the response to the Bollywood themed programming, because that's not something I grew up with, but as you said, it's something you grew up with. And many of the folks in the audience at the last session that we held, it was clear they said, "Oh, I remember this song," and I wonder if you can share a little bit about how that kind of choreography and the accompanying music in the Bollywood theme sessions, how does that differ from other GERAS dance programming?
That is at the Geras Centre. We're really dedicated to inclusivity and celebrating diverse cultures in Canada and internationally. We're inspired by the beauty and vibrancy of Bollywood dance. Everybody always has a smile on their face every time we do Bollywood dance. We hope that by catering to different cultural preferences, we can expand our reach and impact, helping more older adults stay healthy and socially connected and learning something new. By adding different cultures, there's some familiarity, but then you're also learning about other people and other cultures. By doing these different cultural backgrounds, in the future, we're looking at Spanish, Greek. We hope to boost engagement, motivation, and enjoyment, making physical activity more attractive with better health outcomes. All activity is just very helpful for the brain, but it also helps and prevents other diseases in the body. So, very important to have exercise in your life. And Geras Dance is one of those ways that you can bring the cultural diversity of our international world to your home and to your life.
And Kiran, when you are leading these sessions, what's your view about the importance of having it be Bollywood themed versus not Bollywood themed?
Yeah, I know music has a universal language, but most of my members of the senior clubs are from South Asian community. But yes, I do have like 10% members from other ethnic group, from Europe or from Canadian. But I believe personally that music has therapeutic effect on your brain, and I also believe in mind over matter, but only you get that effect if you can connect with the music, like just get deeply into the music from your heart. It can happen only when you know the music and you grew up with the music. So that's why I picked a Bollywood theme. And it really worked. And after we finished Jera's like 12 lessons for 3 months, now people start coming to me, Kiran, we want to dance. And then what we are doing, I think there is a song, I don't know from where. It's like you do the movement. That's our warm ups. No, hey Sakarina or something. Hey Macarena, yeah.
Oh,
Because then I taught them those because moves are easy. They don't want to do anything without, they don't want to exercise without music. So the why I picked Bollywood music, because it's closer to their heart, and I picked songs when we were like teenagers, young, and it was very restrictive environment in India. So it's all was expressed like via songs. Like when we were growing up, we were teenagers. If a boy see a girl, he cannot talk to her, but he will sing a song. So I I picked those kind of songs, so it reminded them, like all the men and women of their teenager days, and they really connected well. And I'm so glad I picked that Bollywood theme. As I said before, like I don't know. 2 years ago, it came to my mind that we should be doing exercise with the Bollywood songs. And I hired a teacher also. And she's like a trained PhD in Bharatnatyam dancing. And she's a teacher here in Canada. I hired her, I was paying her, but it did not work out because she was teaching us like Bharatnatyam, very hard steps with the Bollywood. And it did not work out. Like everybody stopped coming. She could come only 5 o'clock. So because she was teaching, and people, when I started, it was 35, 40 people were showing up. And then after 2 months, there were only 3 people left.
Wow.
So then I was checking on the internet what can be done. That was the idea in my brain, that there should be exercise steps, and I should coordinate with Bollywood songs so people can enjoy and do the dancing. But I was lucky. I found Jera's contact info. I sent them the email, and then after like couple of days, they contacted me. We have meetings, and we started the program. Since then, everybody was so happy. Everybody is dancing. And in India, that is taboo too. If you are old, you shouldn't be putting on the makeup, you shouldn't be dancing, you should be just doing prayers. No, I made them dancing on romantic songs, old Bollywood songs. And the other day, I think our coordinator, Miss Momina Abbas, knows. She was very good too. I think we got lucky because we got coordinator, Miss Momina Abbas. She just connected with all the older people. And the other day, the like people from other community, they all came to me. Kiran, we have to say you something. I said, okay. They said, Kiran, you made us feel alive again. We forgot that we are supposed to dance. No, they said we do the exercise and we dance. Before we weren't doing every day. We now put on the music, and now we have the steps, because before they didn't have the steps. Bollywood dance is not for everyone, because since we didn't do it, so they have the like direction, they have the steps, they have all the papers with them. So they do all the steps, they put on the music. So that I start crying. They said, Kiran, you made us feel alive again. Now we are dancing and exercise.
I love that.
I mean, Kieran's energy is simply infectious, and the passion that she shows for her group and her class. Alexandra, this has got to be beneficial for attendance, right? Like, how has the introduction of Bollywood impacted, I guess, uptake of Geras Dance?
Thank you, Roseanne. It's like, we've had a 50% increase in attendance. And I think it's the combination of having an amazing peer leader like Mrs. Gupta, our master's trainee as well, Momina Abbas, has really connected with the older adults. So bringing the university in as well, McMaster University, there's been great enthusiasm. And really, how do you measure success as a physician? When I can bring life to my patients and to the community, that is real success. I mean, you said it all, Mrs. Gupta. So, our next steps are really to replicate this success with other cultures and continue to celebrate dance from around the world. We'd really like to focus on the peer training modules and other communities, because I think it's really important when older adults see other older adults being successful. That really motivates individuals. And really, this is really critical for brain health. with the growing statistics of the older population and dementia. And this is something we can do to prevent.
Yeah, and it's again, as we said before, it's something that is so accessible to everybody. But Kiran, what would you say to someone who might not think that they're a dancer, someone who thinks of themselves as having two left feet, but might be having their interest piqued a little bit, given what you've said about the GERAS Dance program?
I'll say to them that exercise do not have to be intense or tedious, or it's not a chore. It's a like a fun thing. Geras dance exercise is a fun thing, and if you do only exercise, yes, sometimes it becomes like, oh yeah, I have to do it. But this Geras dance, you would want to do it. It has triple effect on you. It's good for your body, it's good for your heart, and it's good for your brain. And even you don't feel like you are doing the exercise. You don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to buy any equipment. Simply you just need a good music. And if you don't want to doing standing up, you need a chair, or you can even sit on your bed and can do exercise. And you can do whenever, you can do in a group, you can do alone. So I'll say it's the best thing for them. There can't be better thing than this exercise. So it's a complete package, and it makes you happy, it makes you healthy, and it's good for your brain. Because if you are healthy and happy, and one thing I noticed, like when you're doing the exercise without the music, when I was teaching them, so yes, there are like 5-10 steps, so they just like, they can do, close their eyes, they just do it. And I always tell them, you have to do it together, you have to do in synchronicity, you have to go with the music. Because at home, when I have to pick the music, I'll watch the step, whatever song goes with those steps. So then I tell them, so they are using their brain, they are feeling the music, their body is moving. So I'll tell them that it has triple effect. So it's good for you, and you don't need anything. So go for it.
She's convinced me. I'm joining up.
We're
Okay,
in.
okay, thank you. I got one customer. I sold it good. I'm a good salesperson.
Very much so. But as we come to a close, we always want to leave our audience with actionable tips. So, Alexandra, if you wanted our audience to walk away with one key message, what would you say?
Exercise if you want to prevent dementia and you want to improve your overall balance, reduce your risk of falls. This is the one key thing you can do. And as Mrs. Gupta says, it's a lot of fun.
And Kiran, if you had one message for our audience to take away, what would that be?
Yeah, I'll say exercise can be fun if you enjoy Geras dance. So it made exercise fun, and it makes you feel young. And yeah, so then it doesn't feel that we have pain in the body, we have to do the exercise. No, you just dance, and exercise part taken care of. So it's fun, fun, fun. I'll say that.
So, Alexandra, any other resources that you want our audience to know about?
So I would be delighted if people would take a look on the on-demand Geras Dance videos. You can visit the Y at Home platform run by the YMCA Canada. We're currently offering a 3-month free trial of Geras Dance until October, funded by CABHI. So we'd really want to encourage you to check out the information or go to the Geras Centre's website for further information.
Thanks. And this conversation has been fun, fun, fun. So thank you both, Alexandra and Kiran, for joining us on this episode of the Community of Innovation podcast. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And I also want to say thank you to Alexandra for all the work you've done in partnering with CABHI as one of our early Spark projects, and it's just been amazing to see how far you have taken that initial funding and just taken it well beyond where anyone expected it to go, and the impact has been phenomenal. So thanks for all of that hard work.
Thank you.
To learn more about GERAS Dance, register for the program, or become a certified instructor, you can visit www.gerascentre.ca. That's GERASCENTRE. And we want to thank our podcast production team, including Rhea Singer, Katie O'Connor, Tammy Lam, Helen Chen, and our friends over at Podtex.
That team, with additional support from the Baycrest Academy and CABHI, also produces Defy Dementia, a Webby-nominated podcast and program that we mentioned briefly earlier in this episode. If you're interested in learning more ways to reduce your dementia risk and optimize your brain health, check out Defy Dementia, which is available on all podcast streaming platforms or at defydementia.org. To learn more about CABHI, please visit us at cabhi.com. That's CABHI.com. We'd also love your support of our podcast, so be sure to follow us and leave a review on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your pods. I'm Rosanne Aleong.
And I'm Allison Sekuler. Join us next time as we bring you the 2024 CABHI Summit keynote discussion featuring Dr. Harris Eyre talking about brain capital and the brain economy.